Hello friends, I'm Alexandra Sokolova. Since 2009, I've been living and working in Mersin. Many of you have lost track of me, lost visual contact with me. I'm alive and well. Where have I been? I had blepharoplasty. For those who don't know, that's a type of surgery done on the eyelids. I hope you like how I look. Here I am! It's been a month since the surgery and I can say that I'm about 90% recovered. Let me just add a little more light on myself like this. This is the beautiful result I got. I'll share my experience with you. I had it done in Mersin. I'll tell you how much it costs, who did it. I'll give you the address where it was done. I'll talk about the pros and cons and the after effects. Is it really necessary to do this? What did I like and what didn't I like? And I want to emphasize, I'm not collaborating with anyone, even though I'm a blogger and could be doing ads, but I actually have my main job. I'm the director of a real estate agency. I'm a practicing licensed realtor, and that's how I've been earning my living for over 15 years. I want to share with you honestly, woman to woman, whether you should do it or not, and what kind of clinic this is. So in Mersin, there aren't that many clinics like this. I did some research since Mersin is a city of 2 million people and our healthcare is generally at a very high level. Of course, this kind of medical service is going to be paid. Aesthetic surgery here, of course, is all paid. The clinic is located near the Forum. It's called the Dr. Hussein Jaskar Clinic, named after the doctor himself, who specializes exclusively in blepharoplasty and only performs these kinds of operations, and he has really streamlined the process. And before going there, of course, I did my research. I asked the locals who had been there if everything went well. Everyone gave positive feedback. So following the advice of people who live here, I went to this clinic. As far as I know, people come to him not only from other cities, but even from Istanbul. In terms of cost, I personally find it very reasonable. In other regions or other countries, it costs more. Altogether, the entire procedure cost me 28,000 lira. At the time of the operation, that was about 620 euros. What was included in that? Of course, the initial doctor's consultation is free. He examines you and tells you whether it's worth doing or not, what the condition is and what medications I'm taking. That is, I always take vitamins. He asked me to stop taking all vitamins completely and to stop anything that thins the blood. And a week later, they scheduled the operation. I left a deposit, a small deposit of 1,000 lira, and they told me what kind of clothes to wear, so it had to be comfortable clothing without any metal objects. Everything is done directly at this clinic and it's done under local anesthesia. They say there is no pain at all. A bit later I'll tell you about the experiences other people had as well, and the follow-up examination and the doctor's supervision. On the appointed day, which was Saturday at the scheduled time, I arrived at the clinic. First, they applied an ointment. Of course, before that, I asked if I should remove my eyelash extensions. They told me, well, yes, basically you show them. You should remove them, right? But trust me, girls, if you have eyelash extensions, you definitely need to take them off because it will be extremely uncomfortable with them. So I insisted and asked, should I do it? Yes, do it. During the visit, first they applied an ointment, then some kind of drops. So it's a kind of mild anesthesia. The initial sensations aren't very pleasant. It's like being at a cosmetologist's appointment, getting injections around your eye, and that's basically it. After that, you just hear some manipulations, some actions, something being cut, something being scraped, but there's no pain at all. What language does the doctor speak? The doctor, of course, speaks Turkish, but he knows very well how to use, as they say, Google Translator. He can translate for you into any language. And for all procedures and conclusions, he provides written notes with instructions. For example, it will say, you need to do this, this, and this. So using a translator, you can understand all of it as well. I know Turkish fairly well, but I might not be completely accurate with medical terms. But I have to say, even if you don't speak Turkish, it won't cause you any problems, because anything you don't understand, the doctor will rephrase, the translator will interpret it differently, and there won't be any unanswered questions. Of course, it's always a bit nerve-wracking. And girls, if you really need this, for me, probably the biggest problem would be dropping out of advertising airtime. Not being visually presentable, so to speak, which is basically what happened to me. I mean, they told me, a week, 10 days, but honestly, that's not true. You won't look good in a week. You'll start to look more or less normal in about a month. At least that's how it was for me. That is, there were still visible scars. I want to emphasize that I only had blepharoplasty on my upper eyelids. I didn't really have any issues with the lower ones, and that's 90% of the success. So the recovery process continues for up to a year. The surgery itself didn't take long. It lasted about 40 minutes. How long does it actually take? And is it really true that there's no pain at all? Before me, they operated on a Russian woman, and she said it was painful for her, and she asked for more anesthesia. But I want to emphasize that I didn't feel any pain at all. And the doctor kept asking through a translator in Turkish whether I was in pain or not. So I want to stress that I was lucky, and in my case, I didn't feel any pain at all. How long does it take? In practice, it takes about 40 minutes depending on the complexity, give or take a few minutes. First, they examine you, of course, and apply iodine. By the way, if you have an allergy to iodine or any other allergies, you absolutely must mention it. And since this is a system of private healthcare, you should always fully understand that the ultimate responsibility for your personal health and well-being lies squarely and completely with you. This is because I personally didn't conduct any comprehensive tests, absolutely no blood work or any other diagnostic procedures whatsoever. They don't require them. So whether you're healthy is your responsibility, and you need to know that you have no contraindications, that you're not pregnant, that you don't have this or that condition. Plus, of course, the main thing is that they ask you if you have any issues, and you fill out a form where, as always, I basically take full responsibility for everything myself. But I want to emphasize that, unlike in other countries, no tests are required in Turkey. And so you can do this very quickly, but what could be the consequences? For example, I have a certain physiological issue. I'm very afraid of needles and all medical procedures. And even when they just take blood from my vein, I regularly faint. Well, that's just how my body is. So I always say right away, sorry, can I just lie down immediately? Go ahead and take as much blood as you need. Sometimes I can handle it, sometimes I can't. But basically, I also had a kind of fear, and I lost consciousness right on the operating table. Of course, this caused some confusion for them. They didn't understand what was happening. They performed certain procedures to get me back to normal. It took them about 10 minutes to do that. And to keep me alert, I had to stay with them for the rest of the operation. This happened right at the beginning of the operation. I had to talk to them in Turkish, tell them about everything, just to keep the conversation going so they would know I was coherent and with them. Everything went very well. Right away, they got me up and prescribed medication. Of course, they prescribed antibiotics. You take antibiotics for a week, vitamins, apply ice, and also use special glasses. These were included in the price except for the medications, yes, except for the antibiotics. All of this was prescribed to me at the pharmacies with a prescription. In Turkey, many medications, especially antibiotics, are sold by prescription. That's why the doctor always writes a prescription. This prescription stays at the pharmacy, so be prepared for that as well. So take a photo so you at least know which medications were prescribed to you. Because when you receive the medications, they will take the prescription from you. That's it. And every hour you apply, for the first 3 days, you use these eyes, put in eye drops, apply ointment well. It depends on your specific case. And there are some unpleasant sensations, of course. How do they support you? They add you to a WhatsApp group and check in with you. So you can ask questions, make sure everything is okay with you. But again, I want to emphasize that they give you an information sheet which says that if your eyes don't close, it's normal. If you have some bleeding, it's normal. So you kind of realize, okay, so I'm not the first, I'm not the only one. A week later, they remove the stitches. By the way, I want to point out that they don't mention that there are internal stitches and external stitches. They remove the external stitches. Everything looks nice visually. They take off the bandage. But there are also internal stitches. For some reason, they forgot to mention those. And one morning, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I realized they'd removed the stitches, but I still had threads sticking out. Honestly, it was really scary. I pulled on it, it stretched, and I thought, maybe I should just pull it out. It doesn't really hurt, so maybe I can do it. But just in case, I decided to see a doctor. And it was the right thing to do, because those were internal stitches, which you absolutely must not pull out. If they're unnecessary, they need to be trimmed. As I was told, they typically dissolve completely within about 3 to 4 months, and if they happen to come out prematurely, you absolutely shouldn't pull them. You just need to carefully trim them. That's it. So the doctor's professional supervision during the crucial first month is very important, especially, let's say, during the first 2 weeks. I'll emphasize that I still have a follow-up appointment scheduled for the 7th of July. So that will be a month and a week after the surgery, when the doctor will say, well, everything's okay. But honestly, I can already see that everything is fine. And as he says, that's 90% of the success. Right now, I'm currently using a specialized cream for my scars because there is still some noticeable scarring present, and it will likely remain for quite a while. Complete healing typically takes about a full year to achieve. Overall, am I satisfied? Yes, overall I am satisfied. I'm happy that now I look with a more open gaze. As my daughter told me, Mom, you have a kind of sad look in your eyes. Now I don't see that I have a sad look anymore. Now I feel more energetic, I feel younger. And of course, it's a pity that this month I maybe recorded only 1 or 2 videos. And even then, wearing glasses. I felt uncomfortable meeting people. I kept on working. Let's say for the first 3 or 4 days, I couldn't go to the office. Fortunately, I had the surgery right before our holidays, so I could spend that week resting. But still, the whole time I kept going to work. Yes, you'll be able to work, but you won't look presentable. Wherever you decide to have this surgery, first of all, think carefully about whether you really need it. Because any surgical intervention is a huge stress for the body, both physiologically and psychologically. In any case, for a month, you won't look your best. And, well, every morning your reflection in the mirror might not just fail to inspire you, but actually make you feel worse. Yes, you'll have bruises. Yes, you'll have swelling. But after some time, you'll realize it was worth it. And I hope I've shown you that. I hope the information was useful to you. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for watching this video. Enhance your beauty as much as your abilities and means allow. Enjoy life and stay healthy. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Leave your comments, have you had blepharoplasty or not? Because I've been told that nowadays almost everyone is getting it done. It's even considered a lunchtime procedure, and some people are practically getting it done in their kitchens. But seriously, guys, choose your specialist, carefully pick good professionals who do this for a living, because maybe in 90 cases everything goes well, but it could be you where something goes wrong. Be careful. After all, these are your eyes, this is your appearance, and it is still a surgical procedure, so it can be dangerous. Stay beautiful and stay healthy. Love you all, and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.